Welcome to Policy and Profit, the podcast for ambitious insurance agents and agency owners who want to build predictable, profitable businesses without chasing bad leads or begging for referrals. Let me be brutally honest for a second with you. Most agency owners aren't building a team, they're babysitting one. They spend their days chasing flaky prospects, repeating the same recruiting pitch 5 times a week like a parrot, only to have no shows, ghosters, and broke dreamers draining their time and energy. And worst of all, their personal production and agency production suffers, and they start resenting the team they try so hard to build. And if that's you, you're not lazy. You're just trying to scale using effort rather than systems. That's why I built the Autopilot Recruiter, a done-for-you system that helps you attract qualified agents, pre-sell them with your story, not someone else's, and get them onboarded without doing another live Zoom, sales pitch, or three-way call ever again. It's the same system top recruiters are using to grow massive downlines without sacrificing their commissions, their time, or their sanity. So if you're ready to build a team that actually grows itself, go to writemorepolicies.com/playbook and download the free playbook today. Today's guest is Dylan King. Dylan started selling insurance in 2023 and wrote a whopping $142,000 of premium in his first 3 months. He just opened a 10,000 square foot office in Phoenix and is focused on growing his team of insurance, life insurance, and Medicare agents. So, Dylan King, welcome to the show. Tell me something you believe is the key to succeeding in insurance sales that most agents completely overlook.
Yeah, I would say first off, appreciate you having me on. But, coming into this business, a lot of people they get attracted into it based off of the flash, the flexing on social media and whatnot. And it really comes down to, do you have the work ethic? Do you have the discipline? Are you able to, you know, deal with rejection? Are you able to learn a new skill of sales and learn all the different, carriers, products, how to pitch them and whatnot? So it's really, if you have the work ethic, the discipline, you can be successful. Anybody can be successful if they have those traits, but nine, only 8% make it past a year. So it's something where a lot of people aren't able to really last long term.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the 8%, 99% of them just make enough money to pay their bills and stay in the industry for maybe another month or six. And a lot
Hmm.
of them fizzle out as well. This is a one percenter industry, just like any area of life. You must be exceptional. You must show up and you must show out. It's just I don't know. Winners are going to win, losers are going to lose, right, Dylan? And so
Right.
that brings me to an interesting point. First off, you mentioned the shiny object syndrome that kind of pulls everyone to get recruited and sold a pipe dream. It, it, Guys, you have to realize most of the people that you see out there are renting and leasing things that they don't even truly own, nor could they even afford outside of the photo shoot, or at someone
Hmm.
else's car at a conference they took a picture of and said it was there. So that's always funny shit to see. As a grown man, I just can't call myself a grown man and do that, take pictures in front of other dudes' toys. So if you were to rebuild this industry completely from scratch, Dylan, what would you do? Like if you were the arbiter on how this gets rebuilt to build a proper foundation to decrease this god awful attrition rate or failure rate of 92%, how would you do it? Just out of curiosity. I've never asked that question to anybody.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I would say there's a lot of things that, could improve, and it's really about finding the right opportunity for you, finding a mentor that's gonna be able to get you where you want to go, who's done what you want to do. So a lot of people get started in companies that are, not the best fit for them, and then they either just, quit without looking at other opportunities, or they kind of just continue on doing it part-time and selling their friends and family and never actually turning it into a business. So I would just say that education on how to find that right opportunity for you, and what's gonna make sense for you based on your situation, whether you have money for leads, whether you're doing it part-time, whether you're doing it full-time, and give people that resource and that guideline of what to look for when they're looking at different opportunities in the industry.
Yeah, it's a lot of you have to develop the ability to discern what's good from just let's just be real, Dylan. There's a lot of shit shows and bad actors in this industry who ruin the reputations of guys like me and you who are like up at night trying to solve other people's problems when we're good. Like we don't have to sacrifice any, like we're doing this for you guys. It blows my mind. It's like you guys are in wheelchairs and you're going to blindly buy a house that you know has stairs in the front. It's like, what? It makes no
Right.
sense. So that's fantastic. And Dylan, this kind of ties into what we're about to go into. Something I know you're really passionate about is this whole idea of how to level up within the industry with work ethic and discipline. So please talk to us more about that than the person listening.
Yeah, I mean, when I came in this industry, I didn't really have any sales experience, knew nothing about life
Same.
insurance or, any of that kind of stuff. I was just looking for a way to take control of my income. So sales was pretty much the only way to do that. So getting into sales, I was out of my comfort zone, but I moved down to Arizona. I, just locked myself in my office, 12 hours a day and just dialed the phone, was on Zoom with other top producers listening to what they're doing, but just pounding the phones all day, every day and getting a little bit better every day. It's frustrating in the start when you don't have the objections down, you don't have the script down, you're kind of just leading yourself into objections and you don't know the products either. So it's really tough getting started. But if you're able to pound through that and get through that learning curve, then it really starts to turn to where you're able to get comfortable once you get to that 50, 100 presentations in, and you start to feel comfortable. So that's kind of what I did, is just brute force, pounded through the ups and downs of getting started. And then I was able to, continue to learn and grow and just keep that same work ethic into building a team and whatnot, keeping my personal production up, and, hopping on the phone with people, sharing my story on social media and whatnot, and, continuing to just be somebody that is a resource. I'm not trying to somebody reaches out to me, I'm not just gonna, push to recruit them. I'm gonna be there to answer their questions and kind of be a resource and just kind of show people what you can do if you put your head down and work, and you can really pass people up in this industry with, so many people that are up and down with their work ethic or their consistency, or they're trying to build a team, but they don't do what they say they're going to do. So they lose their people don't trust them. So just being somebody that can be trusted and is consistent and steadily just being able to be there for people and answer their questions and um, you know, not be that guy that just, starts making good money and disappears and, isn't there to help his people. So that's been a big thing that's helped me.
That's a really good answer. And I think what you just said ties in really well with you mentioned a minute ago. You mentioned kind of pounding through those ups and downs, developing that. Because, dude, the emotional pendulum over here swings like you're like, I never knew that anger got that mad, or I never knew sadness felt so bad. Like when you're an entrepreneur, it feels like everyone wants you to win, even the people who used to root for you. And it's just it can be very lonely. It can be extremely taxing. And so, what I want to kind of talk to you about and tailor this conversation to, because someone I listen to and look up to a lot, I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with Tony Robbins, of course,
Hmm.
but he says success in any endeavor is 10% strategy, 90% psychology. And so I think what makes people like you so fascinating, and obviously you don't want to hang out with losers, of course. And so when you surround yourself, for you agent watching right now, when you surround yourselves with people like Dylan, myself, if you can find the Tony Robbinses, so to speak, of the insurance world, it makes success kind of inevitable because that environment, it's so fun to be around, and you develop our beliefs, our habits. And so I want to talk to you about going through that, pounding through that darkness, that emotional swing of like, is this ever going to fucking end, dude? Am I ever going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Hmm.
And it's something that you mentioned just a second ago, that work ethic. And you mentioned doing it for the money. And I think if you ask most agents, if you ask, hey, what's your list of reasons you want to do this? They could only give you one reason. I remember looking through my journal, I had about 800 reasons alone that I wrote down on why I had to be successful, or else I was going to die. My family was going to suffer. I have to make the money so I can show God the beauty of his own creation. A lot of you have one reason and wonder why you don't get anywhere. So, Dylan, talk to us about what you kind of did to pound through that emotional turmoil, the ups and downs of like, can something work, man? I don't understand. So what did you do personally?
Yeah, I mean, I always had the work ethic, playing sports and whatnot, being in the gym, watching film, eating right, all that kind of stuff was always dialed in. Playing college football, playing in high school and whatnot. And then after college, it was like, all right, what am I gonna do to transfer that work ethic into actually making money? And I was pretty lost. I went home, I was delivering pizzas for Domino's, after college and trying to figure out what I was going to do long term. And um, finally got my insurance license. Like I said, moved down to Arizona and was able to really pound the pavement, get good at it. And there is ups and downs that come with it. And it's always just persevere, never get too high, never get too low, and stay positive. That's another thing is a lot of people they get hit with chargebacks, they get hit, an agent leaves them or whatever it is in the business, there's so much rejection. You get a big sale, you go up high, you get a chargeback, somebody hangs up on you, you get down in the dump. So it's kind of just staying consistent and whatever happens, continuing to stay positive and move on to that next phone call, that next recruiting call, that next, social media post that you need to make, whatever it is, just continuing to move forward. And, just like you said, you have to have a strong why. So if you don't have that strong why as to why you need to make this work, why you need to be successful with this opportunity, then it's probably not going to work out for you and you're probably going to, quit and go work for somebody else.
And I don't think that's something enough people in our industry, funnily enough, talk about is most of you are not going to be cut out for this. And like if you already know, like, hey, I'm actually never going to be interested and fully invested into this, don't waste any more money or time that you have. Like, listen to what we're saying. Go find something that you can put that type of energy that Dylan put into his business. Find something you are willing to like get kicked in the dick over every day and still wake up and like, yeah, that was fun. And it's like, no, it wasn't, but I understand where you're coming from, right?
Hmm.
So find something that you're willing to go through all the bullshit for because shit is shitty over here, man. Customers tell you go off yourself in nice words, go pound. It's like you have to be resilient to make it in this. And so I find it so beautiful that you said, and it's funny that you mentioned Domino's because Domino's, do you know the origin story of Domino's, Dylan?
No.
They started off as two broke college kids. One was going to go to school in the summer or one for one semester, and the other one would work, and then they'd switch. And by the second year, the first when the other partners started working, they're like, "Screw this, I'm out. I'm taking my company shares." He took the other partner's Volkswagen and left, made one of the worst financial decisions he ever made. And these two college kids took over an existing pizza business on the edge of a college campus, and what they essentially did was they changed the headline of their business. They changed their USP. They say hot, fresh pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. They said nothing about good pizza, just hot
Hmm.
and fresh. And when you're in a college campus where everyone's smoking some funny stuff and they're too inebriated to go anywhere, it's a hit business. And that business was trying to get bought out by Little Caesars, Papa John's, a broke college kid, someone worse off than you might be watching right now went and become one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time. So it's so funny you mentioned Domino's. And
Hmm.
another example, Dan Henry used to deliver pizzas, built a $35 million business in the info product. He went and sold information, guys. You're selling something 10 times more useful, which is a real policy. So that's so fascinating that you used to do that. Uh, Dylan, this has been really valuable for the agents and agency owners listening who want to learn more about what you do. Tell us who's a good fit to work with you, and more importantly, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we kind of just been going, getting out of the comfort zone continually over time. Just opened up this office out here in Phoenix. So we're looking for people to come out to Arizona and work in person with us and build on to the culture and whatnot that we got going. So um, but we do work with people remote all over the country and people that have that work ethic, that have the discipline, they just need the right opportunity. And I think that the opportunity with us is as good or if not better than any other opportunity within the industry. So you can hit me up on Instagram, Dylan W. King. Legacy Financial Group, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. And I'd be happy to have a conversation and, see if it is a good fit with us.
You guys go have a conversation with Dylan. So we're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much, Dylan King. You guys go comment down below, say thank you, or go message him out. I'll have his Facebook link down below in the description. Is that an okay place to message you as well?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Everyone's on Facebook, so I just want to make sure Dylan is accessible to you guys and a resource in your back pocket. Or so go have a conversation. So for those of you interested in learning more about what Dylan's agency is all about, click the link down below in the description and go thank him for sharing his insights on what it takes to really persevere and kind of pound through those dark times. That way you kind of build that emotional resilience up and you don't let life kind of throw you around like it did Forrest Gump, right? So,
Hmm.
and one more time, if you want to stop getting people on your team that never sell anything and drain your time, and you want to recruit the right people the first time on autopilot and fill your agency with rock stars and winners who are going to win, go to writemorepolicies.com/playbook. Until next time, keep building that commission machine. Dylan, you
Appreciate it,
crushed it.
man.
Fantastic job, dude.
Dude, that was awesome. Thank
That
you.
was fun.
Hell yeah.